special meeting of the Boulder County Board of Health and called to order at 1 p.m. on Friday, April 2nd, 2021. Board members, please introduce yourselves. Greg Thomas, Board President.
This is Jorge de Santiago, Vice President.
Morgan McMillan, Board Member.
Brooke here.
Go ahead.
Brooke Harrison, Board Member.
And Landry's there too, so we have all board members. Okay, we have a quorum. And I don't think we need to go through staff introductions at this time. So this special meeting of the Boulder County Board of Health has been called to order at the discretion of the Boulder County Public Health Interim Executive Director, Lexi Nolan. And notice of this meeting has been posted. And due to COVID-19, the need to social distance, we are conducting this meeting telephonically. All right, who's leading us off here?
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate the board coming together today. We are asking for the board to provide approval for a public health order to remove outdoor face covering requirements. And Trina Ruland will take the lead on this conversation.
Thank you, Lexi. So we came to the board in March of this year to amend our mask order to align with the state. We had received approval to make further amendments, but we felt it would be appropriate to bring this amendment specifically to the board because it is the first time that we are relaxing restrictions around Boulder County. And the reason, so what we're asking for is to remove the outdoor requirements, all outdoor requirements for wearing a mask within Boulder County. This would bring us first and foremost in alignment with other metro area counties who will be asking their boards of health for the same to amendments to their local mask orders. So all of the metro area will be within the week or so, most likely under the same or very similar mask order for local consistency. The reason for the timing of this is based on our very good vaccination rate locally. We have over 90% of our 70+ population has received at least a partial course of the vaccine, and over 75% of our 60 to 69 population has received at least a partial course of the vaccine. So in light of this, and in light of the fact that although there is certainly some risk of transmission outdoors, it is significantly less than the risk of transmission indoors. We are requesting that we amend this mask order to remove outdoor requirements, although it will still be recommended that folks can wear a mask outdoors should they so choose. To put some finer points on the requests that we're making, we're also looking at extending this order for 30 days. Previously, the order had been in effect until rescinded. Once again, that's a reflection of the fact that we're now in a very rapidly changing environment with the vaccines. And we want the ability for the executive director, interim executive director, to have the discretion to amend, modify, or even extend the mask order after 30 days or within that 30-day time period to reflect these changing conditions. The mask order as proposed does not have any exceptions other than what the state currently has in its exceptions to when you can wear a mask indoors. We do anticipate that the state will be modifying its mask order, although it will still be in effect. It may have some changes come April 4th. And so we'd also like the discretion for the interim executive director to make amendments based on any modifications that the state may have. I think that's all I wanted to say about the proposed mask order. The language of the order will require, so just to be clear on what it will still require, it will still require that all individuals age 11 and over wear a face covering whenever they are within a public indoor space. The CDC also currently requires at a federal level that anyone on public transportation or awaiting public transportation wear a face covering. And because of preemption issues, we can't make an exception to that. So the order will be in alignment with the CDC order and also require that as well. There is an exception for a person's residence. And just to be very clear about what that means, a residence includes where you live. But for example, if you live in an apartment building, the common areas of your apartment buildings, your entryways and exitsway, or the common area of a dorm would still be considered a public indoor space that you have to wear a mask. So unless the board has any questions, we request that you approve this order 2021-3, as well as give the interim executive director authority to amend, modify, and extend it either during or after the 30 days has elapsed in order to give the flexibility to stay in alignment with our metro partners.
Quick clarification question, Tarina. This is Morgan. I assume that what you just gave as examples of public indoor spaces that are actually outdoors, but are apply to also like the school district? Are they going to continue doing mask wearing indoor and outdoor?
Schools are considered,
districts?
yes, schools are considered public indoor spaces. Public
Okay.
indoor space, it really means any indoor space that is not your residence is considered a public indoor space. It covers businesses, it covers, you know, even non-businesses, nonprofits, all of anything that's an indoor space that's not a house.
Sorry, but I guess I think I misunderstood. So, but like the common like outdoor spaces, like within, let's say, a dorm area, is that no longer, you don't have to wear a mask when you're hanging out outside at all?
Correct. If you're
Got it.
outside, even if it's a common area of your apartment area, the outside common area would not require a mask.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
I also heard in that question, Morgan, that you were asking about outdoor sports, outdoor parks, those kinds of things. Could you clarify that as well, Trina?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of those. I'm just thinking about my kids who go to, you know, the schools too. Like, are they going to take off their masks when they go outside now, or is that maybe the school district makes their own determination? I just don't even know how that would work.
The school district can make their own determination as to whether or not the school district wants to require masks for their students while they're in schools, but masks will not be required under Boulder County public health orders for students while they're outside. And with respect to sports, because there's been a ton of questions with respect to that, the indoor requirements will remain the same, but there will no longer be an outdoor requirement for masks for sports. And we're going to put up, when Lexi signs this order and it goes into effect on Monday, we will also put up sports mask guidance just to make it very, very clear for folks when a mask is required for sports and when it's just recommended. And it's really that clear line of, are you inside or are you outside?
And again, this is all evidence-based, right? I mean, this is from all the contact tracing and all the research that's gone into it. Even though our numbers are actually ticking up a little bit recently, it hasn't been from outdoor spread.
Yeah, and I'll actually let Dr. Urbina speak to that, and I don't know if Indira wants to speak to that as well, since that is their expertise.
I agree. The evidence does support this, but we also know there's a significant pressure to open up outdoors and encourage people as we go into nicer weather. The evidence does support it. Although if you're going to be necking in the park with your partner who's not vaccinated, then you're at risk of getting that infection. So we're still going to provide recommendations regarding close contact, washing your hands, avoiding large social gatherings. We're still going to make those recommendations. And if we get people to do that, that transmission control will still be supportive of not spreading the disease. And I don't know, Indira or Kaylin, if you want to add anything to that.
Kaylin, do you want to go first or anything to add?
I don't think I have anything to add at this time. I would agree that the outdoor risk is reduced greatly. I would say that we don't have any clear evidence of outdoor. We can't get to that level of data of clear outdoor transmission. But I would agree that the evidence for outdoor transmission, that we generally think that we're in a better shape when we're outdoors. So I would agree with what Dr. Urbina has just mentioned.
And I think the only thing I would add is just that the vaccines, the number of vaccines will be accelerating particularly over this next month, up to 400,000 vaccines a week in the state. And so this is going, as we vaccinate more people, we will see the incidence rates go down for what we're seeing in the community. And what we've seen in Israel, in some research that's been done in Israel, is that as they vaccinated more people, they opened up at the same time, very similar to what this approach is. They've eased this opening. And they did see a little bit of a plateau, and then the rate significantly dropped because more and more people were being vaccinated. And so I do feel comfortable with this, removing this approach. I also think from a mental health standpoint, it starts to ease us into back to normal slowly.
Hey, this is Jorge. This order will be applied also for CU students?
Yes, it applies to everyone in Boulder County.
Okay,
And of course, if CU wants to implement more stringent mask order restrictions on its campus, it may do so.
Cool, thanks.
Any other questions from the board? All right, so we have item 1 in the agenda that we would need to make a motion on. Do we also need to include the language, Trina, about the interim director being able to amend?
Yes, amend, modify, or extend would be much appreciated.
Okay, all right. Anybody want to entertain that?
This is Brooke. I move to approve Public Health Order 2021-03, removing outdoor face covering requirements, as well as allow the interim director to amend, modify, or extend the order.
This is Jorge, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I think we've had our discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, and then I also need a motion for item 2 so that we can adjourn into executive session.
This is Brooke. I move to adjourn into executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6-402 4F for purposes of conducting the public health director recruitment process.
This is Jorge, I second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks to all the staff. Thank you, Dr. Urbina.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lexi, can you stay on or?